Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins as we forgive those who sin against us. And lead us not into temptations, but deliver us from evil. For yours is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Wow, it's been long. It's been really long. It's been long since episode 3. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. I didn't know when next um episode 4 would be possible, but we're here. We thank the Most High for this opportunity, and for enabling us to be here today. It's His doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes. Oh my gosh, I just can't believe it. I can't believe you're here. Um, I never knew. I thought that we would never come back for this particular reason, for this particular purpose of continuing um to tell to tell the goodness of Yah, you know, and yeah, to tell the goodness of Yah in my life. It's not easy. It's not easy to talk about, um, you know, your life. It's not easy at all. It has never been easy. Even me starting was not easy. It's just it's been a long journey of me getting here to the point where I can just say, I'm talking about it now, and I'm going to say it. I'm going to speak my truth, and I'm going to just, to lay it all down at the feet of Yahushua. That is what we are supposed to do. That is what we are supposed to do. And so I don't know how long this video is gonna take. I don't know how long this episode is going to be, but I just humbly ask the Most High that it may be fruitful no matter how long it's going to be, because I know there are a lot of things to talk about today. There are a lot of things to address. Yeah, first of all, before we even start, what is to be shared today. Let's first start with the clarifications. Yeah, with the clarifications, then we go to the changes because they're connected that way. So the clarifications, what will be to clarify? Okay, yeah. So I will mention this in detail when we get to the um, to the changes. So let's start with the clarifications first. The first thing I would like to clarify is the issue of my name. I know you can see the last name has changed. The last name has changed. And there are very good reasons for that. Yeah, it just didn't change just like that. And like I began by saying, it is Yah's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes, in my eyes specifically, because man, since episode 3, since the last time, um, it's been a lot, and hopefully I'll be able to share some of those things today with y'all. So yes, and so the last name was Ashray before, right? But now it's changed to BanYah, right? As you can see. So from the last episode, I just started thinking about this last name, and I thought about it for a while, and I realized, oh, hold on, wait a minute, something ain't right. I just didn't feel, you know, I felt it would really like it would hinder me from my purpose, and it would lead me a little bit further away from Yah. And I started thinking, okay, should I change it or should I just leave it there? But I just felt a greater conviction to just not leave it there. And so I was like, okay, so if I take it out, what do I put back there? What do I put in the place of what I've taken out? So there are a lot of things that name, that word, that name, first of all, it was leading me to ways that I didn't want to go. It was leading me to the Judaism way, and it was also leading me to some stuff like numerology that I knew was wrong, but I didn't know exactly what numerology was. And so actually that desire to 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 make a change on that name is what really uh, uh, pushed me to finally look it up. Sister Halda was always mentioning it on her various sessions. And so I was like, okay, I think I need to look this up now, because it might be related to what I'm trying to what I'm trying to leave, what I'm trying to get away from. And so when I finally checked, and boom, there it was. And I was like, oh my gosh. So I was like, okay, fine. I think this is not where I need to be. And so I had already made up my mind. Okay, I'm going to take it out, but what do I put in place of what I've taken out? So yeah, when time went by, and much recently, like I think last week, if I'm not wrong, last week or the previous one before that, um, I just remember, just I had an experience. I just don't know how to explain it, but it was for some time. It's related to actually what we're talking about today, right? From 2018 to last year, but still, it's something that has been there. It's something that has been there all through. And first of all, before we even go any further, yeah, my voice does so many things that I don't like. Like I have always said since the first episode, we'll come to that. We'll come to that on another episode. We'll talk about this voice of mine. It's it's a long story and a scary one for that matter. But yeah, it's good. Yeah, yeah, it's good. And yeah, so as I was saying, um, I just had, I don't like using that word though. I don't like using the word epiphany. I don't like using that word, but um, I don't know how to explain it, but probably just put it this way. Um, he the Most High just brought back something that I've been trying to run away from. And he had ministered to me and my and some of my sisters at a particular point in my life when I was just beginning my journey with Ruka, the set apart spirit of Yah Elohim. And I was just like, I'm he the set apart spirit of Yah just was ministering to my sisters through me, and he also ministered to me with that word, you know. And the word was sonship. The word was sonship. And so sonship was something that I had an issue with because of my father, and issues with my father. I've not talked about my father. Yeah, I have not talked about that part. I think I'll talk about it on another episode. Yeah, so I had issues because now I can't trust anyone. I can't trust anyone, and I'm also feeling like, you know, my I'm being my identity is being affected. Even my identity in Yah Elohim is being um there's an issue there, you know. And so yeah, he just brought it back. And so yeah, I'll talk about that in great detail. I'm not going to put the details here. That the details for that is on another episode that I know for sure. Yeah, but he he brought it back, and I was like, oh, Father, yeah, so this is what you were trying to tell me this whole time, to embrace my place as a son, you know. And funny enough, Sister Halda, I was going through some sessions, you know, on Sister Halda's channel, The Gates of Halda, and most recently she was talking about the she's been talking about revisiting the first Exodus and just what we can learn from it as we prepare for the second one that's coming. And so um, she talked about she brought up some scriptures that were really fundamental in bringing that back, and it was just about making the distinction between the son and a son. You know, the son of Yah Elohim is Yahushua HaMashiach, but we are all sons. I am a son, okay? I am a son, but Yahushua is the son, okay? And so making that distinction was very important for me. And also, I was running away from that because of I didn't know how to make the distinction, you know. But I thank the Most High for that session and those scriptures that really made it very clear, and just, you know, that session that really made everything, you know, that cleared it all up for me. So it was easier for me to settle down now and say, okay, I think I'm ready to embrace this now. And I know I've not fully embraced it. The first step was putting it down, and now the second part is now beginning the journey of now cultivating it and making it now a part of me, even if it's difficult. It's so difficult, but yeah, it's good always. And I thank the Most High for that, because that's what now um, solidified it and now made it easier for me now to put it down and now start the journey. Um, yeah, so it's no longer now, it's no longer Sablanut Yibnaya Ashrei. It's no longer Sablanut Yibnaya Ashrei. Now it's Sablanut Yibnaya Ban Yah. Okay? Ban means a son, a male, a male child of parents, relating to the relationship between a child and the parents, right? And so, yeah. Okay, so that's the first clarification. So I think I touched the changes as well. So yeah, as you can see, that the name has changed, the last name has changed. Also, other things have changed as well, and the changes I'm making, a lot of changes that I am making in my journey as Ruka is leading me, as he's leading me to make changes in everything I do. It's not an easy journey, I'm telling you, it's not. But um, I'm committed. I'm committed to making the necessary changes I need to make, because I know I have a lot of things to change um, in my journey, all along, as I go along with my journey. And it's not been easy, and that's what we're here to talk about. um, so something else I need to let y'all know, because I don't know when I'm going to do part two. Remember, we have a part two to do, a part two to Spoken Word episode 3. So we've done episode 3A. Now we are waiting to do episode 3B. Okay, the second part of Spoken Word episode 3. So we need to really, I just, I don't know when we're going to do that, but we have to do that. So there are also some things I need to address from part A that I want to address in part B or part 2, however it is you want to say it. Yeah, so we will meet in part in part 2 of Spoken Word episode 3. Okay, there are many things I need to address from the first part. So Yah's willing, we will meet there. Okay, so now let's start. It's almost 20 minutes, and I need to start this because I don't know how long it's going to take, because there's a lot of things to talk about on this episode concerning this today's topic. And today's topic is a little heavy. And to be honest with y'all, like, this morning was also heavy for me, and there was a lot of battle. There's been a lot of battle, and it's been really difficult for me. And this morning, before I came on, before I came behind this mic, it was a lot. It was a lot, and I I just don't know what to say, because it's heavy. It's been heavy since 2018. Why do I keep saying since 2018? Because that's when I was baptized, or rather received baptism by fire. Because remember the steps we need to take as we come into the faith. First, we're baptized by water, then by fire. By water through immersion, which we call, which people, most people call baptism, and then baptism by fire. You know, when you're baptized, you know, or immersed in the set apart spirit of Yah, when He baptizes you with His fire, like on the day of Pentecost. That's what I'm referring to. Yeah, so I am humbled, to have experienced that, because it was at the point at a point in my life when I was at the edge of the cliff, about to jump, basically. And that's a story for another day, on another episode. But I just want to talk about from there. It's been, or they have been, that has been a time of testing. It began immediately. It began immediately after that experience. And it was a difficult journey. It was a very difficult journey for me. I'll talk about that when I'm talking about the experience itself, because I'll talk about the experience itself. What day did it happen? The backstory, when how it happened, and after it happened, all the whatever, everything from there. But today I'm going to focus mostly on last year. Last year was super difficult. It was one of those years that I don't know, I really want to forget, but at the same time I don't want to, because I saw the goodness of Yah throughout. And it was difficult. It spanned from, like, it had a whole history from around, I think, 2020, because 2020, that's when, like I said in the first, in the what like I said on the first episode, I I had I was battling anxiety. When the pandemic hit like this, my anxiety just shot up, and it was terrible. It was terrible. It was life threatening, just as my illness was. So it came from there, and the anxiety was going on. It had heightened, and I didn't know what to do. It was I felt like I was going to die, but I didn't tell anyone. I just went on and on and on. And my my kind of like my consolation was was doing housewives. Like I said in the first episode, I was doing housewives a lot in 2021. Um, And it was just I began podcasting a little bit in 2020 on Anchor, but in 2021, and that's when I started like doing, I went housewives all the way. And it was quite an experience. I was doing that to just help me with my anxiety and just to help me cope and not really be immersed into all what I was going through at that time. And not only was I going through anxiety, but now it was not it was not getting any better because I had to I was also going through a lot of stuff that was making it worse. So I had an opportunity to like heal and try to get better because the situation around me was not allowing me to get better. I had but my environment from the beginning has never been conducive for me to be better, to get better, because my depression started like way before even 2018, way before 2020. So yeah, and it's been on and off, on and off, on and off. And my one of my friends told me that that on and off is the most dangerous, and it's true because it almost killed me. Literally, it almost killed me. I'm going to talk about that when I'm talking about um my baptism by fire, okay? But today I want to talk about my illness. My illness. Oh my gosh. So last year, on March 21st, I think. Yeah, March 21st, I was diagnosed with pulmonary tuberculosis. And so it was difficult. I didn't know I was getting sick from 2021. I didn't know I was getting sick. But my mom was seeing a difference in me. I was changing physically. I was I was not looking good physically. So, and she used to tell me, and I wasn't feeling anything. And she would ask me, "Are you feeling any pain? Are you feeling anything?" But I'm like, "No, I'm not feeling anything," because I was not feeling anything. But when we got into 2022, we got into last year, I just, it was, it was hard. It was difficult hearing that, as I was being diagnosed, it was difficult for me. I was like, how did I even get here? It was that bad. And but Yah is faithful. Yah is faithful. I committed myself to taking my meds from then on. It was difficult. And that's why the title of this episode is My Times of Testing, because they were my times of testing last year. But I put from 2018 to 2022 because my times of testing began there. But since I had come into the faith, and since I was, born again. And so yeah, that's why I call them my times of testing. But last year was the most intense because not only was I sick, but I was also being attacked spiritually as well. I was being attacked even with my mom, and everybody blaming me and everybody making it look like it was my fault. I'm not doing anything. And most especially, you know, the enemy was using my mom to kind of try and put me down and discourage me and try to make it look like it was all my fault. And it was just the most difficult time. because when I was supposed to be, quiet, it just trying to get better and, pick up my broken pieces. I was fighting every single day, trying to explain myself, because that's what I've been doing basically all my life. Just always explaining myself to everybody. Like I have to give an explanation to everybody, even an explanation to my own existence. I mean, it's just been difficult, but yeah, has been good all through. But one thing I that really astonished me actually is that even in the midst of all that pain, physical pain, emotional pain, psychological pain, I had the strength. I don't know where the strength came from, y'all, but I'm very sure it was from Ruka, the set apart spirit of Yah Elohim that gave me the strength to praise through it all, to praise through the storm, to praise through the rain. It was, that is what really, because typical me would, would always be there just weak and all, not having any strength to open my mouth and say anything. But I had the strength to talk. I had the strength to sing. And remember, TB is a respiratory illness. So my lungs were pretty screwed. I had holes in my lungs, like there was so many. Like I looked at my X-ray pictures and they were like, oh, so scary. I was being told by the doctor, these are your lungs, and all these small things you see on your lungs are like holes. I'm like, what? Holes in my lungs. And it was just like, it was unbelievable. And I almost died, y'all. I almost died because the doctor told me, the doctor who first saw me before I went to the hospital to get tested and finally got my diagnosis. The doctor who saw me first told me that he came right on time because I was almost getting to a point where, my TB could be drug resistant. That means that it would take the longest before I could recover, because it was almost getting to that point, but it didn't, because Yah Elohim brought him right on time to check on me. And yeah, because he was actually Yah works in mysterious ways. He was, and still is, I think, a friend to my mom, and they go to the same church. And so my mom called him up and said, come, please come check on my child. I don't know what's wrong with him, but he don't look good. And so yeah, he came, checked on me, and told me to go to the hospital to get checked. So I went to the hospital, got checked, and was diagnosed with pulmonary TB. So yeah, and so it was difficult. I've never taken that much meds in my entire life. I've never taken that much meds in my entire life. I took a lot of meds. Sometimes it got to a point where I was taking like two different meds for two different things at the same time. Like I'm taking meds for TB and I'm also taking meds for like other stuff, because the enemy was hitting me left, right, and center. There was no break at all. He had really decided to like target me. Yeah, and it was a long battle. But I thank the Most High that Ruka was already there. The set apart spirit of Yah was there, because I don't know how I would have even sang and praised through the storm, how I would have been able to get through that very difficult point in my life. And so I just I was it was difficult. It was difficult, but I thank the Most High. I thank the Most High for giving me the strength through His set apart spirit that got me through that pain, that got me through all the battle that I was going through. And it was a lot of things, being blamed, especially being blamed for it. You know, the enemy was using my mom constantly to just make it look like it's all my fault. And so, yeah, it was a difficult process for me. But I thank the Most High that He gave me the strength to get through it. Then, funny enough, um, I was going through the process of coming into the truth, and I was not fully there yet. I was still, trying to, you know, find my way around Shabbat, find my way around, the feasts and all that kind of stuff, the feast days of Yah Elohim. And so I was just trying to really just, I was just devoting myself to this spiritual journey and just, wanting to know more. And so Yah just directed me, and I'm just so grateful and so humbled because I remember the the last day of my checkup. My last hospital date was on the 26th of September, 2022. And so that was the Feast of Trumpets. And it was my first time. It was my first time celebrating the Feast of Trumpets. And um, it was, I think, my first ever feast, ever in my entire life to ever celebrate on my own, because that's what I've been doing ever since. I've been celebrating the feasts of Yah Elohim on my own and just keeping Shabbat on my own. I've been doing everything on my own because I'm the only one in this household that's awakened. So um, I it's just been Yah's grace carrying me along, and I just thank Him for that. So the last hospital date was on September 26th, and that was the Feast of Trumpets. And I was going to get a report from the doctor, and I didn't know what that report was. And the doctor said that it's all over, no more drugs. And they just gave me a small red pill, and that's it. And was a vitamin something. Can't remember whether it was vitamin K or A. I cannot remember, but it was vitamin something, and it was a small red pill. That's it. And yeah, was re-energized, and I began my process of now recovering on my own. And I've been recovering on my own since then. Yeah, so all praises to the Most High Yah Elohim for His goodness, His faithfulness, His mercies that endure forever, even through our times of trials and our times of testing. He's there. He's showing Himself faithful. And I just pray that the Most High will continue to bless the hearts and the souls of His people, that they may continue to receive from Him, and that the Most High will continue to fight the battles of His people, because as He fought my own battles and I've seen Him fight for me, I'm grateful. I'm grateful that He is in me. Finally, it's been a dream, and I thank the Most High that He's been there, and I thank the Most High that He He gave me the strength to endure it all, to the very end, and I'm still enduring. I'm still getting better. I'm not there yet. You can hear it in my voice. Yeah, so but most I am not where I used to be, and I'm not going back. I'm not going back. I'm just moving forward, and I just thank the Most High for His goodness and His mercies that endureth forever. And and sorry for that. And I pray that the Most High will continue to bless everyone, that He'll continue to fight the battles of everyone who is going through battles right now, that He may continue to bless His people with peace. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, I pray and believe. Amen.